I'm glad you've turned on this recording. This is a really scary time, and it's good to get some support, to think things through, and to make good decisions. The reality is it's really scary when we don't know what's going to happen. It's hard to get good information. And even if we know a lot about what happened in China and in Italy, doesn't mean that that's how it's going to play out here. We don't know if our friends are going to be safe, our elderly parents, the person that we know with cancer or COPD. We don't know if we're going to be okay. All of that uncertainty creates an immense amount of fear. Our primitive brains go into their survival mechanisms. Fight. We might be really angry or irritated. We're furious with politicians or with people who aren't self-isolating after they return from travel. We might go into flight or freeze, where we can hardly get ourselves out of bed, or we deny that it's even happening, so we go about business as usual. These are difficult times. It's really good to have a sense of compassion for ourselves and to stop shaming ourselves for having these responses that we have. We might find that we have a felt sense of dread in our body. When we feel this kind of fear, we're kind of paralyzed. Our thinking brain goes offline. The fight, flight, freeze comes in. When we're in this experience, we could also do something that gives us some agency, some feeling that we could do something about this. We could acknowledge that, in fact, we can't do anything about the virus. Many people are trying to do their very best to control the spread of it, to flatten the curve, and we're part of that effort. On an individual level, though, this is where we can really do something to calm ourselves, downregulate, have less fear. Start by noticing your feet on the ground. Notice your seat, that you're sitting in a chair. You could hold your own hands. Give yourself some comfort from holding your hands. You could clasp your hands on your upper arms. Give yourself a hug. Open your eyes and look around the room. Notice 5 things that you can say out loud. I see a plant, a picture, a tree out the window. 4 things that you could feel, textures. 3 things that you could hear. 2 things that you could smell, or 2 favorite smells. And 1 thing that you can taste, or a favorite taste. Go to the emergency practices on my website, LynnFraserStillpoint.com, for other ideas about how to calm your system. When we're stuck in fear, our breath is often stuck. Try a practice like 4-7-8 breathing. Breathe in to a count of 4. Hold your breath for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8, and do that 6 times. It really interrupts the panic and the fear. You could stand up and shake your body, get your feet really firmly on the ground, and start to shake through your lower legs, through your hips, your shoulders and arms. Get some real movement going. It helps to get rid of that feeling of freeze. We get some energy moving in our body. Take some deeper breaths by bringing your arms up, right up over your head. Stretch up through the rib cage. Breathe in. Exhale, and let your shoulders relax as you breathe out. Offer yourself some reassurance. Things that were familiar to you in the past have suddenly changed. This virus is sweeping the world so quickly, and when it comes to our country and our neighborhood, it's natural to feel fear. We don't know what's going to happen, and that scares us. What we do know is that we could work with the fear directly through these kinds of practices. We could turn this recording on again and again. We could do the practices of breathing. We could go outside and stand in the sun for a moment. Make sure we go for walks. Even though we can't be close to each other physically, we don't have to be close to enjoy a walk outside. Reach out to friends and family and people that you care about through social media, through phoning, through online platforms like Zoom or Skype. Acknowledge that when there's trauma in our past that hasn't fully healed, that this might land a lot harder than it would for some other people. You might have a felt sense in your body of dread, fear, and that might be really familiar from when you were a child. As an adult, what we can do to work with that is to be aware of what's happening now in our body, our breath, our mind. We can know that this is from the past. There's a present moment threat, and it feels stronger because we've had so much danger or hurt or trauma in our past. All of these suggestions for working with fear and calming the nervous system will work for us, especially if we try really hard to remain present in this moment in time. If we have a lot of catastrophic thinking, we might do some tapping. We could put that image into a frame, put it on the other side of the room in our mind's eye. We could notice, okay, on the other side of the room, there's that image, it's in that frame. We could also notice the color of the wall. If there's a window on that wall, we could notice other things and then come back and look at that image again. Or we could take our eyes around the space around the outside of that frame a couple of times in each direction. We could remain very aware of our breath. These are all ways that we can remain present in this moment in time. There is an actual threat here. We have a response to threat, which includes fight, flight, freeze. It includes panic sometimes. It includes stopping exercise or stopping doing the things that will actually help us to remain stronger physically. One thing that we can always do is to reassure ourselves, to really connect with ourselves and be patient, kind. This fear response will not last forever. We might have an emotional flashback to times in our past, and we are here right now in this moment, aware that that's what's happening. We have a lot of tools that we can use to stay in this present moment. Turning on this recording is one way to do that. Going for a walk, hugging your animal, having a Zoom call or a FaceTime with somebody you care about, making a donation if you can afford to do that, or seeking help if you need it. These are all ways that we can stay connected. We can be cultivating our own inner resources. Kindness, compassion for ourselves and each other. This is a difficult time. It's completely normal to be afraid, to feel fear. Work with your breath, relax your body, get lots of sleep, eat as well as you can. You will get through this. Play this recording as often as you like. It's going to be okay. You're safe now.